It is 5:01 p.m. now for those of us on the West Coast. 8:01 p.m. for all of our fellows out there on the East Coast. 7:01 p.m. for those like Mr. Daniel Young out there in Kingwood, Texas, in the Central Time Zone.
Oh yeah, buddy. Just about to be just
And
touching on bedtime.
oh, that's kind of early bedtime.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I'm not gonna ask the question. 6:01 p.m. for those of us in Mountain Time and Arizona time, since Arizona
That's
needs
right.
their own time zone, apparently.
Yeah, we just know how to do it for sure.
So if the game is
Still-
kicking off in Arizona, what time zone is it kicking off in? Isn't it?
It's Mountain Time during this time of year.
Mountain Standard Time.
That's
The
right.
whole year.
I just wanted to point out that there's no Arizona time. That would be stupid.
People do refer to it as Arizona time, actually.
Do they?
But it's Mountain Standard Time. It's standard. We just know what's up out here, man.
Yeah, we've already talked.
Do you like me going we there? That feels a little weird even now.
I wasn't finished with my time zone discussion.
Oh, sorry. Shoot.
Oh, how many are there?
Well, we got some more because we got our gentleman out there in Brazil.
Oh,
And we have our
That's
guy
good.
Greg Evers out there in Australia. So I have no idea what time it is in Brazil. I believe it's 10:01 p.m. where Guilherme lives. And it will be 12:01 tomorrow, noon tomorrow, out there in Australia. So I guess we got some time travel stuff going on. That's such a weird deal if you actually sit down and think about it. But
It gets
Oh,
late-
yeah.
It gets late early in Australia, it seems like.
I don't know what that means.
What that means.
Just Brandon, just stop.
That's a Yogi Berra thing. You got to read the book.
I know the Yogi
Oh.
Berra-ism, but that was not the appropriate usage of it.
Hey, real quick before we get going, we talk a lot about targeting, and I think there's a really good play example to talk about from this week. And I don't know where. Oh my gosh! Did you see this?
Oh, what a crown!
I mean, how is that? That's got to be targeting on so many different.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Is there such thing as a defenseless body part? I'll just leave it at that.
Remember back in the day when everybody wore a cup?
Dude, he launches him an extra foot into the air off of that.
There's a lot of forcible contact going through.
That is unfortunate.
Well, anyways, I think we should keep playing it over and over and over and over again.
Clearly, you think
Anyways, sometimes those jokes hit, and sometimes they just kind of don't. But
well, 9 times out of 10, when you're responsible, Brandon Cruz, for writing the jokes, they miss. I don't know if anyone's ever kind of like tapped you on the shoulder and kind of told you, "Hey, why don't you let us do the jokes?"
That seems to be a popular thing. I kind of get tapped on the shoulder a lot here. Let's talk about. Were you done with your time zones, or did you want to talk about like what it is in Europe or something?
I don't think we have any more
you do East
Europeans
Coast?
with us.
we have-
I did do East Coast.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's the second one he did. All right.
Oh,
Thanks for
you were really
sticking
paying
with us.
attention, man.
I know. I'm
That's
very
good.
Daniel's in a bad mood today, by the way, everyone.
That is
call,
not
so
true.
when he's very short and
That is not true. I'm
that's
excited to
very
be
true.
here.
Hey man,
you
it's
guys,
about it's
Can I
not
just
really
finish what I
the.
was gonna say?
Oh, sorry,
I'm
Dan.
excited to be here with you guys and with the pure officiating community. How about that?
Ready?
Daniel, we moved from a community to a universe about 2 years ago. I'm not sure if you know that or not.
Okay, I'm gonna be in a bad mood very shortly. I'm just yeah.
DY.
What's up?
All right. This is not the opening kickoff, but it's close enough.
Yeah, we can tell.
It doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter. So, hey, when you talk about the code is OFK for some reason, offside free kick
On a
probably.
kickoff.
Offside on a kickoff. When you talk about that, I mean, what you got to be focused right away because this stuff happens fast. So, what do you use, or I mean, is this a sliding scale for you and how you work this? I know this is very kind of trivial and all that, but I mean, it's kind of a big deal, especially if there's something crazy happens and the kicking team ends up with the football at the end of this play. So how do you work this?
Well, the first thing, this is really challenging. This is not like when they're running full speed, like making this, especially when they're staggered like this, it creates an optical illusion. It's not, I mean, maybe really challenging. It's not as hard as a DOG, but this is not as simplistic, I think, as one might think. So I think this is a great question. Look, I mean, I don't know. I think there's different approaches, to be honest with you, Brandon. And so, like we said often, we're not the authority of college football officiating or any authoritative body. But really where I'm at right now, we used to say there was a time when we would want the kicking team player to be all the way beyond the restraining line, almost like an illegal forward pass, then see the ball being kicked, right?
Oh, wow.
Like a full yard, because the idea was that there's just so little advantage gained on a deep kick that there's really not any reason to call it tighter than that. And then we've shifted from that. And really the way we're looking at it now is if that player gets his foot down prior to the ball kicked, even though he's not quite as far offsides as I mentioned a second ago, then we're probably going to want to foul for OFK.
Foot down?
Foot down is how but like you.
So let me ask you.
Yeah, a matter of inches, right? And it's happening in the blink of an eye.
Oh, that's it. So I was going to go there. So real quick, if that foot is down on the line, before the guy kicks it, is that different than the foot being down beyond the line?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. So let me be more clear. Beyond the restraining line, and think about the restraining line going through what we used to say was the heart of the kicking team player.
Oh.
So kind of going up through his body where that dude's helmet went on the other guy is a pretty good place. And if the foot gets down and he's that far over, but also, again, the foot being down could be a difference of like a tenth of a second. So in a situation where you've got a guy's body beyond the restraining line, maybe that foot's not quite down, but if it's getting ready to be down, where we're from, the way we're working it, we're going to be supportive of OFK and want that called.
Okay,
I called one, in fact, last Saturday that wasn't too dissimilar that I wouldn't have called probably 5 or 6 years ago.
Interesting how that's creeped.
Yeah.
Now, okay. Now, wait a second, though. What about like the result of the play? So this particular kickoff is a touchback.
Yeah.
Okay, great. But what if, somehow they pin them deep? Is there any thought to adjust and almost retroactively adjust philosophy based on the result of the play? And then, of course, go to the onside kick.
Yeah, that would be the
next.
That would be the only thing, Brandon. For us, and again, I'm not sure what the national guidance is, would be
I don't think there is one. Just so I don't believe there ever has been one.
You're probably right, honestly. If we're working this as a deep kick, right, and we have some smoke relative to OFK that we let go, and then we look up and this ball is being fair caught around the 30, the 35, definitely. Now we've gotten to kind of that pooch kick territory, and we want to treat that as a plane, just like we do on onside kicks.
Wow. So that's interesting. I mean, that's not so you're not just differentiating between onside versus non-onside. You're kind of adding another layer of nuance there.
Really, the differentiation is if it's deep or not, and so you can interpret that how you want. But think about the purpose of that pooch kick. You're trying to find a dead area or to get enough heat on a returner that he feels pressure and maybe potentially muffs it.
Yeah, or like you said, the fair catch. I mean, if you force him to fair catch on a pooch because you were offside, that's a clear and obvious unfair advantage. So that's a really good point.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, but onside kicks then, and I know we just planes. it's a plane. And then you said basically the same thing on Pooch. So it's deep versus not deep, which was a really learning experience for me. That's awesome.
Yeah. And the plane also is ridiculously difficult to officiate.
And so is there games where you feel like you're battling this, and then how do you manage that, whether with a flag, without a flag? I guess I'm really asking about, your maybe like this exact play right here. I don't know. Like, I mean, I don't know if we'd be really heartbroken if we didn't call this.
No, I mean, just looking at where we are in the game, this is either their first or second kickoff of the game, depending on who received the ball to open. Yep. An action like this, what I would really prefer to do is find that number and tell him specifically to stay on sides because he's close to getting penalty, and then also communicate that with their special teams coach. So like try to double dip. I don't know why. For whatever reason, I don't really enjoy throwing OFK penalties. I'd really just rather than be clearly and obviously onside with the ball's kicked. Right. So if I feel like they're close, I'm going to talk to them and try to avoid having to throw a foul.
And I know this might be a little silly, but like, do you spend time during the week looking at kicking team, yes, maybe it's not OFK oriented only, but just for stuff like this, just simple stuff that maybe you can get out ahead of in the pregame?
Oh, absolutely. I always watch the kickoff team because I want to know if they're prone to being really, really close, or prone to OFK, or if they've give me a nice cushion that makes it very easy.
All right.
And then if I like to know if they're going to kick a bunch of touchbacks or they're going to have some returns. You always want to be ready to officiate as if it's going to be returned, but
Yep.
Okay. Any advantage we can give ourselves.
So then, okay, this is actually the opening kickoff of the game, and we're going to see actually the runner slips, but I mean, we've got some action here to think about. So this could be yours, Daniel, and actually yours too, Todd, because this becomes the first inside threat. So to me, I mean, pretty clear and obvious reverse takedown right there in the middle of the field.
Mm-hmm.
But let's talk about this. So we've heard a lot of different philosophies, and I don't know which one's right anymore because, I mean, I think everybody has a different philosophy here on calling holds relative to touchbacks. Now we have the fair catch rule as of a few years ago, and here we have a runner slipping early. How do we do this? How do we do this on kickoffs when we see holding action? I don't think anybody argue this is a hold. I mean, it's a holding action, right? In a vacuum, this is like holding. But do we want to foul here? And so what guides us in our decision-making process? And again, you could have a kick through the end zone for a touchback. You could have a fair catch. You could have something like this where the runner's down early. And then obviously you could have a runner that stays up. So there's 4 scenarios there. But what guides us in deciding to make this call or not? Or do we even need guidance if it's like this?
Well, I mean, I think there's probably some different guidance relative to that too, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. The way I like to just kind of position these and think about it is the same way we do on run plays, and think about space, distance and time, proximity and time. That's what I was trying to say. So when does the hold occur in relationship to when the ball becomes dead? And then how close to the ball carrier does the restriction occur? So in a situation like this, my gosh, on a free kick where you're so far away, you're going to process that hold and then look back to the returner. He's going to be on the ground. So then maybe you can think about space or distance rather and think, okay, well, there's a little lag from me seeing that to him going down. Well, look, it's really far away too. Is that like 10, 15 yards? Mm-hmm. So those are the things that I would take into consideration. Another thing you could take into consideration is this idea that it's a takedown, and you call all takedowns. But can it be a takedown if the play's already dead? You know what I mean? Like, does it even exist in time and space if there's no play for it to exist in?
That's a great point. Todd, you got this would be your block, I believe. Wouldn't it be mechanically?
Probably.
I mean,
yeah.
things on kickoffs happen weird, right? I mean,
I know,
you
yeah.
get flat people
Yes.
flashing, whatever. But I mean, to me, if we're perfect and we can slow it down in our eyes and use video to select blocks, this is the first matchup that presents.
Sure.
Down
And
the
the
field.
the first thing I want to know is this a returnable kick? If it's
Okay.
deep in the end zone and it's clearly not returnable, I kind of don't care about this takedown.
Okay.
Other than just going warn the player. If it's a fair catch situation, if I notice the deep returner giving a fair catch, again, I kind of don't care about the takedown, and I would like to go warn the player. If it's returnable and it's going to be returned, then I have a lot more to process, and Daniel just kind of guided us through a really good way to evaluate that action. I would hope that I could do that. Of course, I may see it and just get really excited and just sling the old flag. But I would hope to use the process that Daniel just laid out for us.
All
I
right.
love
So
getting a good hold on a kickoff. Didn't it just feel nice?
Right, because they can't. I mean, it's annoying that they do stuff like that. It's like, come on, man, you know you can't do that.
and there's a lot of that going on. I mean, these are hard
I know.
plays. These are hard plays. And we had a coach in some league that I used to work in at some point in time tell us
Yes.
we are going to hold. We are going to
Until
hold
you
on
call it.
kickoffs until
Yeah.
you guys call it.
I was
You
just
know,
about
so
to mention that.
That's
Yeah.
probably not unique to that particular coach and that particular league. That probably happens a lot because these are hard
Right.
and there's a lot of people in space. Okay, obviously, if the returner stays up and advances any yards beyond this at all, it's a foul. I mean, we don't
Oh,
have any
absolutely.
problem with it.
It's
Even
a
if he, by the
no-brainer.
way, well, hang on. Even if he gets the hold happens at the 25, let's say he gets tackled at the 18. I mean,
Still no brainer.
Yeah,
because of
absolutely.
time. Yeah. So we want to view this really through the time lens. And I know the distance you talked about, Daniel, but I mean, this is if there is any delay at all between the restriction and then this guy getting tackled.
So what I
How do you
absolutely
throw the proximity variable?
Well, the
That was
way
my
I
thinking
would
about
say
time.
it is if this same action occurred right here at the returner, even if he's going down in the same time, I mean, who knows? It's like you're going from one to the other. So seeing them both is tough. You may be in a position where you think, you know what, that's material. If it's close enough, it'd have to be really, really close with this timing and maybe not ever, but that could come into play. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay, and then the difference here, these guys go to the ground. So if this is some kind of suplex over the shoulder, slam them to the ground, we're
Different
not talking
story.
about holding.
Right.
We just want to make sure timing and distance and all this fun stuff that we like to geek out about really doesn't apply if it's UNR in nature, correct?
Correct. Sling it. If it's UNR, throw the flag.
Let's go. Cool. I know there was something else to talk about on this play, but it escapes me now. Anything else on just kickoffs? Hey man, we're kicking this thing off. So we got kickoffs here. Anything else?
Let's see what you did there, Brandon.
Good
Yeah, you
job,
got
bro.
that. So, I mean,
Nicely done.
we've got some pretty good jokes tonight. I think we're doing good. Okay, cool. Well, we're just getting warmed up.
That's Jonesboro, Arkansas, by the way.
I don't know what that means. Other than
Why are you saying that?
it's a
Just
place.
sharing some trivia. That's all.
Oh.
We struggle to find the next
necessarily
play.
relevant to anyone or yourself.
It's very relevant because the Arkansas State University is in the city of Jonesboro, Arkansas. So it's pretty relevant, Daniel.
I'm sure there's good people
Arkansas
there.
State.
I mean,
Doesn't make it relevant. This could be on Mars. We're just watching a kickoff.
I don't think it's on Mars. It says a state right in the middle of the field. So it's probably in Jonesboro. It would be pretty hot if it was on Mars, too.
But I know what I was thinking while you guys talk about nothing. It is important that kind of everybody on the crew is on the same page on how we're going to handle those different concepts, as simple as they may seem. A lot of people, I think, just kind of shrug it off. Yeah, whatever. But then all of a sudden we get this weird flag, or, maybe something happens and we don't get a flag, or maybe we should, whatever. It's just, I always felt like it was important to all be on the same page on those philosophies because they're super not written in stone really anywhere. They've kind of been passed around from, decade to decade in programs. We got people coming from different conferences, so I don't know if you guys have it. That was where I wanted to talk about too, just how philosophies get passed around. And then there's an annoying show like VSG 117 that almost adds fuel to the fire of this stuff and talking about, how what we've learned, right? I don't know if you guys had anything on that, but that was a thought that I had watching that. Other than Daniel, you always think you're right. So, anybody who comes in with a different.
That's not true. Well, I don't know.
I'd strike while the iron was hot. He's in a bad mood. I mean,
see, I feel like there's a concerted effort to try and put me in a bad mood. It's not working. I feel great. A little weary for a Tuesday evening, but I feel great. No, I think especially like if we're going to be officiating the same action, we probably mentioned consistency on here a time or two before. Mm-hmm. But especially if we're going to be officiating the same action, like we want to think about consistency in circles. As an individual official, I want to be able to officiate action the same way every single time. Of course, we know we're human, but that's what we're striving for. And then within position groups, we want to officiate things the same way. Then as an entire crew, we want to be on the same page relative to the same actions. And then, of course, as a conference, as a program, and then as a country. So, yeah, absolutely. And how those conversations are navigated, I think, depends on a lot of variables, where the league is, who the officials are, what the positions are. And one of those things that's easy to slide by is OFK. Like, we don't spend a whole lot of time programming around how we're going to call OFK. But you get in a situation where, the home team is on your side and they're half a yard off and I'm calling OFK. And then the visiting team is on the other side of the ball and they're kicking off and he's a yard off and we're not calling OFK. That can get uncomfortable and turn into an uncomfortable week too. So
little things become big things in a hurry there. Yeah. So that's good. Yeah. Okay, cool. Tuta, anything before we just move on?
Well, I always have like a weird way of looking at things. And most of the time, we know, people look at me like I'm crazy, and then they always come back around to me at the end. So
that's not true. You say that all the time, and it's false.
Daniel,
oftentimes nobody comes back around, and they just walk away thinking you're weird.
Ever.
So I might be the only one in the world who really doesn't care about consistency. It's from an individual perspective. I get so annoying. I don't want to be consistent with the rest of the referees. I want to be better than every other referee in the world. So I could care less if they're consistent with what I believe in. I will be honest. I really don't.
That's really interesting.
That's really
interesting and very honest.
It is. It's brutally honest. I don't want to be consistent. I want to be better. Period.
I've never heard anybody say it like that.
I know nobody will admit it, but we all thinking the same thing. I promise you, we all want to be better than everybody else.
No.
Oh yeah, okay, Dan. You want to be?
It's a different. It's
you want to be consistently.
You should want to be.
Perfect.
I mean, I'm trying to help you.
10th place would be an improvement, right?
Exactly.
That's where you're going to go with that. Yeah. But it's a different conversation between what you said and what you said, but it is an interesting thought.
Because there are times when we see action and we say, you know what, that's just not a foul. And then 9/10 of the group says, oh yeah, we got to call that. I don't want to be consistent with that 9/10. If I know
that is stupid. That is so dumb.
No, it's not.
So
no, it's not.
You want to be consistently correct.
Yes, but what is correct? Correct is
it's so subjective now.
Exactly.
No, there is a standard. It exists where, however you want to establish it, a standard exists.
So we all have
our standard doesn't exist. Then what are we even doing?
Say officials set a consistent standard from.
Yeah, but we all have our position group meetings, and we get in those meetings, and then we look at particular plays, and we evaluate them differently. But then, why do we all need to just go with the group? That to me is like insanity. Because a lot of times we have different nuances and beliefs on ways to handle certain plays, evaluate certain plays. I don't want to be consistent with people who I don't agree with.
That's dumb.
Wow. Oh, okay. I'm just sharing a different
Well,
perspective. And you'll come around, Daniel.
It's one
Brandon's already here. I could tell he's on team.
I heard what you said, and I acknowledged the interesting.
All right.
All right.
Okay, good.
My goodness.
Hey, there's a poll for this play, by the way.
Really?
Oh yeah, it was created. I mean, we have a crack staff.
Is anybody
20
still
years.
logged on? Is anybody
No.
out there?
No, it's just us three. Let's just
We
keep talking
lose them.
football. We've done this for years. Just not on this platform. Here we go. Let's roll the play. If you want to get the poll going,
Yeah, it's
Oh.
already.
Yeah, but remember, we're not supposed to do it like this.
That's okay.
so I click do it later, and then I can still find it on the side of the screen.
There you go.
It's an amazing feat of technology.
Oh my gosh.
I think.
What are we looking at here? This is a weird play.
November 20th, USA, baby.
I'm sorry.
November
Daniel,
20th.
do you watch soccer?
Oh, I
football?
watched the USA.
Oh,
We're
okay.
talking about the World Cup.
We are.
Why?
Because this is a soccer play. You tried to kick it.
Oh, I see what you're doing there.
And then you said amazing feat. And I thought that was on
Oh, that
purpose.
was pretty good.
Clearly, it was not. You're so dumb.
that was pretty damn good, honestly. Wow.
So we're assuming that the ball hits this dude's feet, which it doesn't appear that it did, but we're assuming that the ball hits this dude's feet. So
Oh, yeah?
evaluate the poll that way. Oops, we already got some. Can I start the poll over because I didn't. Say that.
I think we tried that last time and it doesn't work.
No. Okay.
Why do you need to?
Somebody needs to fire the poll writer.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. So we're assuming that right foot hits the ball.
Correct.
It appears to be, to me, an intentional act of putting the right foot out there.
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't have gone that far.
Wait, am
Yeah,
I the only
halfway.
one who voted? Oh, no, here we go.
Oh, let's play votes in here.
What's Grace got going tonight there, Daniel?
I think that's Luke. He's pretty fired up. Get ready for this. He's turning 7 tomorrow.
Wow.
Oh,
Pretty jacked up.
Wow.
Yeah. Can you
That
believe
makes sense. That makes sense. Every time we get to mid-November, I got to
That's
remember
right.
that it's Luke's birthday.
That's right.
You were working a game as Courtney was basically. Oh,
That's-
man.
She was handling business, and
She
I was
was.
handling business. Worked a heck of a game, too, if you remember.
I do remember. I mean, I remember the game. I don't remember your performance.
it probably wasn't very memorable, honestly. Hey, what kind of cake we
Actually, it
got coming
was.
for Mr. Luke there, Daniel?
What's that, bud?
What kind of cake do we have coming?
Dude, Luke. Okay. So Luke does not like cake.
Oh,
Cupcakes, cake,
interesting.
cookie cake. He won't. He doesn't like ice cream. Like
Not
he's
for everybody,
what?
man.
he's
That is
identified social norms now that he knows he's supposed to act like he does, and he'll eat like
That's
a bite
cool.
and be like, "No, I'm good."
Wow. I like
Right.
that.
So he had a little party on Sunday when I got back, and Mom did cupcakes, and he ate like a bite of one.
That's awesome.
hey, time out. Wait a minute. We got something to discuss here.
No, we're good.
When we
I
have
know
a
where you're
birthday, shouldn't we have the party after the birthday instead of before the birthday?
Oh, is that a thing? I didn't know that was a thing.
We probably should have a chat
Birthday's a-
poll on that. I don't
Birthday's a
think
date
that-
on a calendar, man.
Do a chat poll.
It's a date. It's a date.
It is, but you can't celebrate a birthday before the birthday.
you can celebrate anything anytime you want.
Oh, you sound like Courtney now, trying to make up for missing my. Well, I'm not even. It's not the
You're gonna
time or the
do it
place.
anytime. You can celebrate anything anytime you want.
I
I do
kinda
feel like some proximity on the calendar is important, but I mean, it's, you know what, things happen, and you might have to fudge it a little bit. And that's
Yeah, I mean, I think proximity matters, but I've never heard this that it has to be after the B day.
I could be making that up, but I'm just scratching my head. I'm thinking you can't celebrate your birthday before that. What if the world ends the next day
Well,
and
then
you
got
never
out
even get
with
to your
it.
birthday?
Then you got to have a
great
party.
great birthday party.
You got to
Yeah,
have
but
a
that's
party.
a false celebration. That is a completely
That's not a-
totally.
Oh, there's no
false
such
celebration.
thing.
No, I mean, if the
There's no
world
such thing.
ends, we all deserve that celebration. Anyway,
Yeah,
so
there's no such
we're
thing
good.
as a false celebration. There's
Oh,
just
that's very false.
celebration.
the premise of the entire celebration was someone's birthday, which has not happened.
It doesn't make the celebration itself false. It makes the celebration is very real.
We're celebrating Luke and his disdain for cupcakes.
I think I'm going to close the poll.
What
Poll
do we got here?
Trash. I'll be honest. 86% of us said this is nothing. 2% of us, 14% of us said it is illegal touching.
Okay. But nobody went with your kicking thing.
Nobody went with kicking.
Nice try.
Well, clearly, the ball didn't hit the dude's foot, but had the ball hit the dude's foot, that's interesting that nobody would say illegal kicking. If this dude intentionally stuck his foot out and kicked the ball, I don't see how that would not be illegal kicking.
I do.
Well, I do too.
Oh,
based on why it wouldn't be illegal touching as well. But it's interesting why no one would say illegal kicking.
Yeah, I mean, because why? He's standing out of bounds, right?
Correct. And that's why it can't be illegal touching, because he's out of bounds when he touches the ball. It's literally only an incomplete pass. When an out of bounds player touches a loose ball, it immediately kills the play. The play is over. It's
so here
incomplete pass.
But it is somewhat of a loophole in the rule if you think about it, because so he's standing out of bounds. He sticks his foot out and kicks the ball. I mean, if he was in bounds, you can't kick a forward pass, can you?
You cannot kick a forward pass.
And
that is definitely prohibited.
That could conceivably prevent B1 in the white jersey there from intercepting the pass. So just because he's out of bounds gives him the ability to do that via just really like the definition of touching a ball, right? Touching precedes something.
Right, but the kicking, if that's the case, then even just touching it at all would be a loophole in the rule. Just standing out of bounds and touching it at all, right? Whether he kicked it or batted it or whatever, to prevent number one in white from catching it.
Well, but it's legal.
What's the difference?
Pass in flight. It's not legal to kick.
It's not legal to touch a pass in flight when you're out of bounds. Oh, I guess it is, huh?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
It's not legal to intentionally touch a pass if you're ineligible. But you're only ineligible if you reestablish inbounds. So we understand. We all understand that now, I think, because this guy never reestablished, so we would want to have our hat down, I believe, or would we? When does he go out of bounds?
Like right before he touched it. It'll be pretty quick to get the hat off.
The hat
no, actually, he ran about 3 steps out of bounds.
He did? Okay. So, I mean, so if he runs out of bounds and then – so it looks like he did actually reestablish. But then he goes back out of bounds.
Yeah, this is weird.
Yeah. But, I mean, if all this just happens and this is his first contact out of bounds, then this all just kind of happens at the same time. And I think it's just simply an incomplete pass that we rule
just an incomplete pass.
Without the histrionics of the hat and all that stuff, right?
Correct. The hat, the flag, the bean.
The
watch.
Because we want to be careful about this. We want to be careful on the fact that if we have defense offside, if we were to call this as illegal touching of a pass when it's really just an out of bounds player then that would offset defense offside. And here's the thing. The defense offside may have forced this quarterback scramble in the first place. So if this is just an incomplete pass because it's touched by an out of bounds player, then the defense offside deserves to be penalized. But if we call this illegal touching, it's just going to be an offset. So we got to be accurate with this. How many times have you heard this? It's the same thing. It doesn't matter. It's an incomplete pass. Just put the ball in the previous spot, lost it down. It's just like an incomplete pass. So it's really not. I mean, it really is a penalty and that foul can offset another foul. So we want to be very, very accurate.
Correct.
Well, in the interest of accuracy, it's a foul and the penalty could offset another penalty.
Fouls offset. Penalties don't offset. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Were you talking about penalties offsetting?
Yeah.
Penalties cancel.
Penalty yardage cancels, if we're all going to sit here and be geeks about it.
Yeah, I don't know who said penalties offset, because that's absolutely not right.
Good play.
What? Okay, so that's the thing. What else on this play?
Jamari Thrash. It looks like they had his picture up. There was a guy who played football, James Thrash. I think he was a wide receiver for the Green Bay Packers. I'm wondering if this dude is like a son of James Thrash. That's the only other thing I got on this play.
Oh. James
He
Thrash
caught 3 passes for 65 yards on the day.
Father James was a wide receiver in the NFL, I believe.
That's correct.
Cool. Some questions. I don't know what happened. I don't know the result of this play. I don't know what I think the side judge threw his hat, and then Jason says, "Oh, the side judge appears to be reaching for his flag." I don't know. Maybe he was reaching for his flag. It doesn't really matter. I mean, we would want this as just an incomplete pass.
This is an incomplete pass.
Touched by an out of bounds player, whether he touches it with his foot, hand, hair, whatever. If he touches it with his towel, then it's not out of bounds. I learned that this week. Did you know that? A towel is not part of the body, which actually
a towel
makes sense.
is not part of the body. Okay.
Yeah. But
you had a play where a towel touched a loose ball?
No, it was just a concept that was shared with me that I thought was
okay. You have a lot more time on your hands than is necessary. I'm gonna be honest, Brandon. You may want to go get into like
I was not searching out the impact of a towel touching out of bounds. Just so you know, it was just brought up. All right, we're off to a hell of a start here. Let's go. I know what'll save the show here. Let's go to Australia.
Oh,
here we go.
Pump it back up. Pump some life back into it.
How good is this video? And
what a great catch and throw!
Catching the ball.
It's a catch and throw.
Oh, so end zone view best, but sideline view gives us a little.
This is awesome.
Different angle, so we'll let this thing roll. Take it away, Tuta.
Why am I taking it away? I mean, I don't even know what's going on the play. So apparently, number 0 threw a forward pass that hit an ineligible player. Who was that? Number 68, I guess. I don't know. 68 was maybe a right tackle, right guard. I don't know. Hit him, and it went back to number 0. Then number 0 threw another forward pass. So we probably should count the number of fouls on this play. Looked like we had a number 61 appears to be pretty far downfield. We got all kind of mess on this play. But thank you to Greg. Judge. Yes. Well, he was out of bounds, so I don't know if it's illegal touching.
Yeah, good point. We just covered that.
We did. We just covered it. You would think that you would know, Brandon. We just covered it, but
it's so good.
So, what are we doing here? What are the fouls? How do we enforce this?
All right, let's start with the first pass.
Right.
So,
is it illegal?
Well, I mean, it's a forward pass.
Correct.
Good job.
69 kind of, I don't know, stands in the way of it,
Okay, I guess the better question is, can we put number 18 in the area? Number 18 was the only eligible receiver. He was the
intentional grounding?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can see 18. He's way up by the umpire. That's where 18 is. He's the closest eligible receiver. I don't see anyone else eligible in there.
What about? Oh yeah. What? Yeah. No. Okay. Now I'm just trying to look at all these linemen real quick. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. No eligibles in the area. You can't put 47 in the area.
No.
Of the first pass, anyways.
Right.
So there's nobody in the area there. 69. I don't think he's intentionally trying to catch it. Do you? Or
no, I would not think. I mean,
yeah. So I'm not going to call him for illegal touching.
I would not call him for illegal touching. I would like to see number 62 have a flag down for IDP, ineligible downfield on the pass.
Well, how's that?
He's way down. Oh, but hold on, timeout. The pass never crossed. The first pass didn't. That's interesting.
Okay, here we go. See,
I know. So the first pass clearly did not cross the neutral zone.
So
Second
that
pass.
is a forward pass, and then the second pass is also forward. So we know that is going to be an illegal forward pass.
The second one definitely is
The
correct.
second one, and the first one kind of is for intentional grounding.
Correct.
Not kind of. I think it is. Don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I have
All
intentional
right.
ground on that.
Okay. Which is
And then
hard.
we have an
my
illegal
opinion.
forward. Well,
And then
do
we
we
have-
need help on that? Let me ask you that question.
Yeah.
Is that one where we could just really feel that we know that where the back is, but is that too dangerous for us to try to feel that there's no eligible in the area?
I like the referee's positioning. I think he might have a chance at kind of understanding all of that,
I think,
especially
I do
with
too.
the body language of the quarterback.
Right.
So I think we got that. And I think he does have it, by the way. He throws his flag.
Okay, good.
Not sure what for. There's a lot
Right.
of there's a lot of options on the table, but
Correct.
he seems to be
Okay, so we
pretty
have intentional grounding.
all right.
Then we have illegal forward pass. Clearly,
For sure. Two
both
forward
fouls
passes.
occurred in the end zone.
Oh. Really?
Yes.
Oh wow. Okay, I didn't realize that. Is the center judge standing on the goal line?
Remember, we had Greg doing that at the New Orleans camp.
Yeah, it's an Australian mechanic.
That's right.
Just kidding. I don't think the fouls occur in the end zone. The second one might. The first one absolutely does not. The spot of the pass is in the field of play.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
I can't see what the lines are. I thought the dude went back. He circled back into the end zone, didn't he?
No. The center judge is on the goal line. I mean, it's I like the mechanic personally.
Okay.
So what is the penalty for two forward passes from behind the neutral zone? That's maybe what we want to talk about.
Illegal forward pass would be a 5-yard penalty from the spot of the foul.
Okay. All right. Interesting question here. How can this be intentional grounding if the ball doesn't touch the ground on the first pass?
That's an excellent question.
That's pretty good.
So he is avoiding a loss of yardage. He does throw it into an area with no eligible receiver. But, there was that thing that came out a couple years ago, I believe. There was somebody throwing a pass out to the flat.
Yeah.
Remember that? And it was supposed to be backward, but it was forward, and the dude caught
Yeah.
it. But then they decided they wanted intentional grounding on that.
Yep.
That's right.
So
That was
I
an
think we're gonna
interpretation.
leverage. I feel like we'll just leverage that interp into this to make this intentional grounding. Because if that's intentional grounding, this is intentional grounding to me.
Right.
But that's an excellent question.
Very good question. Pretty good
Okay,
response.
Dylan is saying the second pass did not reach the line of scrimmage. One thing that we know on this play, we need all officials working and bringing information because we're
Right.
going to need some help
Well,
to
hang
figure
on.
all of this out.
So the second pass, why do we even care if it's intentional grounding? That's just a flat out illegal.
It's
forward
illegal
pass.
no matter where it goes.
So I'm not
Correct.
even worried about intentional grounding. Are you?
No, it's illegal forward
It's-
pass.
we
It
got
obviously
two
would be a different
passes.
symbol too. Signal.
Yeah, that's interesting. We got two forward passes. This second forward pass carries a different penalty than the intentional grounding.
Oh,
penalty.
absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
we kind of got to make sure we go ahead with this as two forward passes, in my opinion.
Yes. And now I'm looking for my rule book, which I don't see.
This is a great rule book play.
What do you need your rule book for, Tuto?
I'm starting to question myself on the illegal forward pass because it's
Why?
behind the line.
Oh.
It can't. There's no way we're gonna
Previous spot?
go previous spot. There's no way
No.
we're going previous spot.
No, it's a foul against the ball.
Of course. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
And if the spot is judged to be in the end zone, of course, it's a safety.
Correct. But I just
Which-
wanted to read it just to
I got you.
verify.
I got you.
Yeah, I'm kind of weird like that.
Well, okay, but what if this is under a minute?
Well,
That's-
now we have a 10-second runoff provisions in place,
Oh.
and we could have a 10-second runoff and have the kickoff start on the ready for play, believe it or not. The clock could
If
start
it's a
on the kickoff.
safety. Oh my God, that's right.
Yes.
So the second pass is an illegal forward pass, but the key is it's an incomplete illegal forward pass, which is I think is what we were kind of talking about before on the intentional grounding.
Right. Well, it kind of was complete, but just to the wrong team.
It was a complete incomplete. That's a great point.
Incomplete pass never touched the ground. That sounds like
It never touched the ground. This ball never touched the ground once. So we're going to think about 10-second runoff.
Yep.
Can you have IDP? Let's say that this second pass, in fact, it does kind of cross. Well, I don't know if he maintained the line of scrimmage or not. The pass would have crossed the line of scrimmage. We know that for a fact. If the official's standing on the line of scrimmage, can you have IDP
on a second?
On a second,
actually, you only can have IDP on a legal forward pass, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you're right.
So it wouldn't be IDP anyway because the pass itself is not legal.
Is illegal. So you've got to have a legal forward pass that crosses the neutral zone to have IDP.
Yeah, that's correct.
Even if, I mean, by philosophy too, let's just suppose that's not the case. He's illegally grounding this ball to avoid a sack. So we wouldn't want IDP here anyway, right?
Yeah, well, that's interesting. He's legally grounding the ball with an illegal second forward pass.
Well, I'm saying if it wasn't already, like, you know what I mean? If the circumstances provided that we could have IDP here. I don't know how to say it.
I hear what you're saying.
I'm just saying
if there was no first pass.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct.
That would be correct. We would not want IDP.
Correct.
Because the pass is thrown legally grounded out of bounds or near the sideline.
Correct.
Defense won the play.
Correct.
Okay. Well, that's it. What a play. I mean, this is crazy. What else?
So we probably gonna have a flag for IDP. Hopefully the backside line of scrimmage official would be recognizing that, and hopefully the umpire as well should be recognizing that number 62 as well downfield.
Mm-hmm. I'm interested what the play side line of scrimmage official is throwing for, because I think that's pretty great if he's recognized that this is a second and therefore illegal pass.
I think that's what he's got.
That's pretty cool.
I don't know if it's so cool because I don't know where his original key was. If his original key is downfield, then I would prefer if he work his original action on his original key versus working.
Everybody just kind of quits playing football halfway through the play downfield. I feel like kind of just watching the quarterback.
47 is a receiver in that area, right there. So
yeah,
I mean,
maybe that was his guy.
Obviously, the play breaks down. He transitioned or switched to that guy. I'm gonna say.
Okay, so let's put this under a minute. We'll have 3 fouls. Ineligible downfield on the pass. That penalty is declined.
That penalty's picked up. There's no foul for IDP.
Oh yes,
which is fine.
Maybe we threw it. Hey, maybe we threw it. What about
we did throw it? Oh yeah, we did throw. Ooh.
So I don't necessarily like roughing the passer. Number one, the guy helps him up, so that we can.
He said he was sorry.
Oh, wow.
Exactly.
Really?
So, wow. I'm being facetious, Brandon.
That's interesting.
Come on.
I'm pretty sure we had that as a reason for not throwing LTO this year on my crew, but I don't know. I could be wrong.
But I think 68 is making a wrap up tackle attempt. There's no forcible contact to the knee area or below. So I don't think we would have roughing the passer.
I agree.
Just checking.
Okay, so we have.
Okay, so we got IDP down. Yep, and we've got.
There is no foul for ineligible player downfield,
right?
As the passes were not legal. I think I would say that.
I like that. Okay. And then we
intentional grounding number 0. That penalty is declined. Illegal forward pass number 0.
Oh,
the player threw a second forward pass. The foul occurred in the end zone. The penalty results in a safety. I don't know the name of this team.
Yeah, but hang on. What about the 10-second runoff? I'm
getting there.
Oh.
So I was saying I don't know the name of the team, but whatever that team is, I'm assuming they don't have timeouts. If they have a timeout, then obviously we would say the Koala Bears have elected to use their third and final team timeout to avoid a 10-second runoff.
Uh-huh.
Or we would not have that, and we would say this foul carries a 10-second runoff. Clock operator, please reset the game clock to 48 seconds. The clock will run on my signal
on the ready
at
for
the
play.
kickoff.
I'm aware
Remember, we're
that
going to
that's
the kickoff.
happened once. That one referee that I'm aware, I'm sure it's happened more, but one referee has actually done that.
Really? You've seen that?
Really?
Yes. I can't remember who or what league.
I
or
thought
whatever.
I thought that only existed in the testing universe.
It did until it happened. This was like 5 years ago, and,
Right.
and this guy ran the clock on the ready for play on the kickoff.
But you don't know when, where. We're just supposed to believe
Yeah, we're
you
just
that
making
that
stuff
happened,
up right now.
right?
Why would I make that up? I don't understand why I'd make that up.
Make
I mean, this is the play.
This is the play.
We got an
are
illegal
definitely
forward
gonna run-
pass.
This is a 10-second runoff.
Yeah.
We are going to run the clock on the kickoff.
That's true.
So let me ask you this, Brandon. How you know how it is? At least for me, I blow the ready for play pretty early on kickoffs just to make these dudes kick the ball.
Yeah,
How,
exactly.
how would you handle that?
That's a good question.
I don't know. I mean,
I feel like the center judge or back judge in a crew of 7 really needs to tell the kicker, hey, when we blow the whistle, the clock is going to start running. So you need to be aware of that.
The kicker won't care. The kicker won't care. He'll do his thing.
Hop, skip,
Love
and
my
jump.
guy Seth out here. Just love him to death. But he's going to do his thing. He's going to prance around, take his steps back, put his hand in the air. Like he's not interested
and
in
kick, and
anything.
kick it with 2 seconds on the play clock.
Yeah.
Do you get nervous when they do that, Daniel?
I wouldn't say nervous. There's another word. There's another word
Oh
to
man.
describe what I get.
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
okay. We're going to lose if I take 30 seconds here. Sorry, got to do my process.
over results. That's a crazy play.
Whatever it is, down under. That's football down under.
That's pretty cool. How'd you get this?
There's this thing called email, Daniel. And
I didn't know if you were out there scouting Australian football, man.
No.
Yeah. 2 top grades their games.
They have a folder on DV Sport.
Right.
Dude.
Here we go to. Okay, this is interesting. So I've seen this kind of play happen, and I've seen an official that I know very well be involved in this. All right. So we're going to see a flag come in. And I mean, this guy just rides him out of bounds, right? Oh, but then there's another flag. So we've got 2 flags. So clearly they're going to get together and talk about what they have, right? It's kind of how it works. And then we are going to see a few more replays, I believe.
Oh, wow.
And look at number 1. Look at number 1's left hand.
Oh, wow.
So
I can't believe this happened again.
Yeah, I've seen this once as well. Oh, I guess I'm. What should you want me to name the game and the day and all that? Yeah, I have seen this before, and then I saw this again. This is a good. It was in Boise. This is a
2016.
good one to discuss. It was 2016.
I know.
So what do we have here? So we clearly see number 1's left hand grab the face mask and control the face mask. All right. So let's call that face mask major, like that. I believe one of these flags is for DPI, which we understand why that is a potential. But do we think we should penalize both of these actions, face mask and DPI? This is kind of a chat poll or just for discussion, or just think about it while we go. Do we think we should? Yeah. I mean, should we penalize both of these, DPI and face mask? DPI obviously on the defense, face mask on the offense. Should we penalize only DPI? Should we penalize only face mask? Or should this just be, I guess, nothing? I don't think it can be nothing because we've got 2 flags on the field. So,
He's new here. He says can't be nothing.
Can't be nothing. Is that a double negative?
I don't know what that means.
All right.
Foreman says both wash them out.
Okay. So call them both, I guess is what that's saying. Then
I think so.
Washam, is that Northeastern for offsetting?
Yeah, maybe so. Tuta now wants to bang the face mask.
What happened to Tuta? Isn't he a panelist?
No, he resigned.
He was removed.
Oh,
He was removed.
He resigned his
He's going to
position.
have not to come back.
all
Could
right.
argument the DPI was created because of the face mask. Defender rode the wide receiver out of bounds because he couldn't get away. Kyle says, I agree with Dan. Both happened in the field of play. I kind of like reading these. Do you guys
I'm about to
enjoy
say, Daniel, are you auditioning to be like an audiobook?
We need
audiobook?
we need a little background music for this. Is the ball catchable?
Greg is wondering, is
go
the
ahead,
ball
go ahead.
catchable for DPI to apply? Greg wonders aloud.
That ball. So, Greg, I'll help you out with that one. That is catchable. The ball hit in the white. That ball is absolutely catchable.
1000%, right?
Well,
You want to
okay.
see that ball
that's
go
great.
way back behind all of the players and everything
Okay,
to
there we go.
determine that it's uncatchable.
Let's not just, let's work through it a little.
Yeah, I mean, if this guy stopped 30 yards upfield and the ball hit in the same place, it's not catchable. But that's
Well,
silly.
correct. Well,
But-
that's obvious.
Remember, I mean, we haven't had a whole lot of conversation around catchability. Remember that our mechanics manual says it has to be blatantly uncatchable, and that's really in there. That's designed to keep us to make sure we err on the side of catchable, because we have seen some ridiculous things that these kids can do.
Correct.
Yeah, so we would never want to take DPI off for the reason of saying this ball is uncatchable.
Good question, though. I mean,
Very good catchable.
Very good question.
catchable. A very good question.
So I want to know what contact does number 9 really have that's impeding the wide
I mean, he's
receiver?
not playing the ball in its early contact.
He's not playing the ball in its early contact.
I should have said it better. He has early contact. Look at his
There's
right
early
hand.
contact for sure.
Oh, he can't touch. He can't touch a receiver anymore if he's not playing the ball.
Well, I mean, obviously we know that when you're not playing the ball, the standard for what becomes a significant hindrance, meets less contact, right? Requires less contact.
Okay,
And he's not playing the ball.
correct. Okay.
Your question is, does he even really significantly hinder?
Greg Everett states,
I don't have a question. I'm telling you, he
Foul.
doesn't. I'm just
Offset.
going to tell you, he does not significantly hinder number 1.
He rode him out of bounds.
Did he?
What does that mean? He wrote him, not even touching him.
His right hand's all over him in his body.
No.
It's all over him.
All right. So I think a lot of people are thinking offset. If you guys assume that right hand is a significant hindrance, okay?
Right.
And it does force the receiver out of bounds. I don't even know if we need to do that though. Let me take that statement back.
Okay.
This is an optical illusion of a guy not playing the ball with and DPI, in my opinion.
That's correct.
So
Thank you, Brandon Cruz.
created by the receiver pulling his face mask and pulling the guy into him.
Because he's pulling him into him. That's exactly right.
So it would be, I don't know. I mean, do I go along the lines of saying wholly unfair to penalize number 9 here
Yes.
for
you do.
anything?
Yes, you do. I'll help you out.
Yeah.
It's face mask, so this is interesting because I know that at least one of these officials is going to have DPI. And what's interesting, if you actually watch one of those shots, the field judge throws a flag and then reaches for a second flag.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that interesting?
Is that what he was digging in his back pocket for?
Yes.
Oh, the
Yes.
second pistol.
Exactly.
Bang, bang.
So I would just offer this. If you get new information and that creates a new conclusion for yourself, you don't really need another flag. Do you?
Right. I agree with that.
No.
Now, I know what we're doing in the moment here, so that's fine. But just as we, this is a somewhat of a wacky unicorn kind of play, isn't it? Other than that one time in Boise.
Not exactly.
So, yeah. Hey, Daniel, how about you go through how you work through that play with your partner official?
Do before we do that, do you guys carry 2 flags?
No,
I do not.
Okay,
never
neither.
have.
Sometimes I carry 0 flags. If you
That's true. I've seen that.
I know,
I've seen that live and in color.
pretty embarrassing.
So I remember this, Daniel. You had, I believe, DPI on
DPI.
very similar action.
Yeah.
And
I
then-
can't believe this happened again.
And then another official came in, I believe, without a flag. Or did he throw a flag?
No, he had a flag.
I don't think he had a flag.
He
he
did
did?
have a flag.
He
Oh, he
did have a
did?
flag?
He
Okay.
absolutely did.
he-
Because
And he was calling face mask.
right,
Very similar to this by number 1.
correct.
And what did you say?
Well, apart from his flag, we would have never gotten there. So it's a good thing he had a flag for face mask. So I came over almost nonchalantly / casually because in ours, there was real body contact right before
Yes.
the receiver went outside with his body not playing the ball. And so to me, it was no brainer DPI right in front of the field judge. So I have nothing in my schema that would ever tell me that he has anything other than a clear and obvious DPI. So I go over there. We got DPI on whatever the number was. And when he replies, no, I've got a face mask, like the whole world stops spinning. Like I can't even reconcile what that means. It totally blew my mind. So the first thing we had to work out was, okay, who's the face mask on? We worked out that it was on the receiver. And then I said, okay, wait a second. Do you have DPI? Like I had to go back to my DPI and he had this was what's really interesting where this field judge maybe has a sense of 2 things. The field judge in that play had no sense of DPI. Like it was, that was what really struck me was he couldn't speak to the potential DPI at all. So really we were left to try and piece all of this together because in my mind, okay, the receiver's grabbing the defender's face mask. I needed him to tell me what that looked like. What does he do? And he said he grabbed the face mask and pulled him. I said, okay, well, I'm calling DPI for not playing the ball. Is it possible that the defender pulled, or rather the receiver pulled the defender into him? And that's why I think it's DPI. And then just, through a little bit more conversation, that's what we ended up deciding was that the receiver pulled the defender into him and face mask just like this, because we can't hold the defender responsible for what his body's doing if somebody is grabbing his face mask and pulling him into him, right? That's pretty intuitive, I think.
Correct.
And so that's how we went through it.
So if we were to offset this, it would be a situation where the DPI would need to take place before the face mask.
Yes, that's exactly
what
right.
I'm saying. I mean, really, what appears to be DPI here takes place clearly after the face mask, and it's like Tuta was. It's really not even DPI. It just has the appearance because they're almost body to body, and he kind of gets forced out. But that's really just him pulling on the face mask. So we want to get rid of that DPI and go face mask only here, just like you did.
I think it's plausible that the field judge judged number 9's actions to be DPI, and then he saw the pull of the face mask after he made his decision on DPI, so he would potentially have both. I'm not saying that would be the same judgment I would have, but I could see that that's plausible that he could have both of those files.
But that would be the correct process, don't you think? I mean, if you're going to go with both, the DPI needs to be early and clearly before that face mask.
Totally independent of the face mask, correct.
Great word choice there. Totally independent of the face mask, man.
So thank you, Brandon. You coming around to it. I love when everybody comes around to me.
Coming around
to what I always thought.
You see, you just say that at the end of something, and then it doesn't even apply. It
applies to everything.
I don't like it.
So used to being wrong. So yeah, hopefully that's clear. I mean, yeah, you're right. Maybe he did feel like number 9 did something with the ball in the air prior to that face mask grab. Great. If that's what you're judging and that's what you're calling, that's fine. But we would not want to just offset these willy-nilly because number 9's into his body as a result of the face mask.
Right.
That's outstanding.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So good participation there.
Really cool play. I mean, great exercise in communication when you go to an official and just he drops some information on you that you had no context for, and that was exciting to live through.
Well, that was really fascinating to watch you break that down in the moment there several years ago.
Yeah.
You're getting old, man. I mean,
Well, you were there too, so I don't know what that means.
I think we were all there. How'd that targeting KCI play go for you that night? I'm just kidding.
We should.
But seriously, that was awesome. I mean, I wish we would have saved that play somehow, some way, because that was just great job. You led the face mask calling official through the whole process of arriving at that result of us only penalizing face mask in that situation. Even though your flag was for DPI, it's so common for officials to almost defend their own flags. But it was really cool to see you communicate and work through to get to the right answer.
Yeah, that was a cool play. Can't believe it happened again. That's amazing.
Boy.
Let's go to now. We've been in Australia.
Yeah.
This is really a worldwide tour tonight here.
It is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's go to Brazil. So when is it appropriate to use the S instead of the Z or the Z instead of the S? I wanted to get that question out of the way.
I think us in the United States use a Z. They use an S.
Okay.
And we use a Z because I think they pronounce it almost with a Z sound, although their sounds are different than our sounds.
Okay.
Phonetic.
Is it inappropriate for us to use the S then?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think we're in America. We can do what we want, right?
That's pretty arrogant. Yeah.
Well, it's a free country. We can. Nobody tells us we can't write with an S instead of a Z.
But we're respectful of what.
Sure.
Well, if that's the case, then you would spell it exactly how they spell it in Brazil, but we don't have the same alphabet, so that would be kind of impossible. So
They have.
We don't have the same alphabet?
No, they have a bunch of different symbols and other things on their letters that we don't have.
Okay.
I like these shirts they're wearing. I think we should use these maybe for next Pure Officiating Select Camp.
What do you like about them? The black up top?
They appear to not have a collar, more like a.
I know.
This dude running in has the longest arm in the history of the world, by the way. With the black gloves on.
I proposed that for our shirts, and you guys didn't want to do that.
Will you stop? It's not the time.
I don't like the collar. Why do we wear a collar?
He does have long arms.
Look at this dude. He's about 7 feet tall, and his arms are super long. And he's wearing number 7.
Oh, boy.
Do they have rhinos in Australia?
They do now.
We're in Brazil. I'm not sure if you're familiar with.
I'm just asking because there's the crocodile here. I don't know if you know anything about Australia. Making a connection that this could have. Anyways,
check out the poll. So we're saying, look, what do we do when A36 touches the ball here? So we see the kick is blocked, and then the ball, it doesn't go that far. But then A36 has a touch. There could be a touch by the player in the black jersey as well, which would be the receiving team. I'm not sure, but I know for a fact the kicking team player number 36 does touch it. So what do we do with that? I mean, do we throw a flag, toss a beanbag, both, or just watch it happen and do nothing? That's the poll. We get to poll on Tuta. Who submitted this play?
Our Brazilian friend Guilherme. He sends us a bunch of plays. We've had a chance to actually fellowship with him and a bunch of Brazilian football officials. Spent a couple of hours one night looking at film with them. So yeah, he's definitely a friend of the family. He participates in VSG. He mostly watches replays because it's pretty late in Brazil right now. But yeah, so that's who submitted this play.
Hey, real quick, the last play involved Virginia, University of Virginia. We know they had a tragedy. We're not all that into all that stuff here, but it was kind of a little gut-wrenching to hear about that. I don't know for sure. I don't know all the events that happened, but I know that people are obviously some people lost their lives, and that's not what we want to hear relative to whether football's involved or not, right? So,
Right.
just thought I had a thought there to pass along. So back to this play. How are we doing on the poll? Are we moving? These polls kind of glitch a little bit, don't they?
They do.
A little bit.
Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead with this. Let's see what we've got here. Okay, cool. We've got a nice split.
We got some votes today. Yeah.
27% said throw a flag when A36 touches the ball there. 36% said toss a beanbag. So interesting. Nobody said do both. Okay, so that's cool. And then 36% said do nothing. So it's almost a third split between flag, beanbag, and nothing. So how do we figure out what to do when A36 does what he does to the football?
So why would we throw a flag, Brandon? What would be the reason for us to throw I'm sorry. What will be the reason to drop a beanbag for A36?
Kicking team touched a kick.
That's it? Just touching the kick?
No, that would be incorrect.
Oh,
Because
okay.
it depends on where, right?
Right.
Okay. So illegal touching of a kick is a violation, correct, by the kicking team, not necessarily a foul?
Correct. But only
Okay.
beyond the neutral zone.
Got to be beyond
the neutral zone. So if A touches the ball behind the neutral zone, then it's not even a violation.
We
Correct.
ignore it. We even ignore B's touching behind the neutral zone, don't we?
Yeah, yes, we do.
Well, I should say that differently.
From blocking the kick.
We ignore B's touching if the ball has not crossed the neutral zone. Let me say it that way.
I like
See
that.
the difference?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we would not toss a beanbag for the 36% of us who said that. We would not toss a beanbag on this play because 36 touched the ball at
That's legal
about 2
touching.
yards behind. Sorry, say again.
Well, it's legal touching in the sense that, I mean, it's not illegal for him to touch the ball.
Correct.
Okay. So now we got to think about what he does to the ball.
Correct.
So our judgment between this action is it a muff or is it a bat?
Correct.
So a muff is an unsuccessful attempt to gain possession, and a bat is an intentional act, right?
Right. Exactly.
How do you, we've got this angle, and we've got some really good production with the slow motion that we can help with our judgment.
I'm so sick of the production team. I swear. I hear about production one more time.
So how do you think this is intentional or just an unsuccessful attempt to gain possession?
It appears to be pretty intentional to me.
Looks intentional.
Yeah.
Totally, right? So he takes his hands and redirects the football, propels it forward, whatever you want to call it. It's a bat.
Right. It's right, which means it's a foul.
Well, because it's forward.
Correct.
He could wait a second. Is that true? Could he if he did the same thing and the ball went back towards the punter? That's legal because it's backward.
You can bat a scrimmage kick backwards,
Okay,
unless it's in the end zone.
correct. So you can bat a loose ball backward. You can't bat it forward. You can't bat a loose ball back. You can't bat any loose ball in the end zone. Is what you're saying.
Well, you're saying loose ball. I'm saying
direction.
kick.
In
I'm
any
saying
direction.
kick. I don't know if
you're
you
using
can.
the
You can.
exception.
You cannot bat a loose ball in the end zone.
You can't bat a loose ball in the end zone. Period. Forward, backward, parallel, sideways, whatever.
Well, when can you bat? Can you bat? Maybe I'm going brain dead. Can you bat a fumble backwards?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not in the end zone.
Well, yeah. I'm not talking about the end zone. Field of play.
Yeah, you can
Yes.
bat. You can bat loose balls backward.
You can bat everything
You can
back.
bat them
Okay,
towards
good.
your own goal line.
That's,
All right.
that's usually backward.
All right. I got some
Yes.
reading to do.
Yes, I was just reframing it, Brandon. Damn it.
Okay, so this is forward. This is not towards his own goal line. This is towards the
Right.
opponent's goal line. This is forward. We want to throw a flag here.
Well, hold on. Yeah, we do want to throw a flag, but there's something else we need to consider as well, right?
Okay. Uh-oh.
What's the result of the play? What's the result of the play? What's the result of the play?
Do not let John Roan get on this play and nobody tells him what happened to this.
Somebody better tell him.
That's a great point. Hang on. If the receiving team player touched it right there when A36 batted this thing, what do we do with that?
Well, if 836 batted it into the receiving team player, is that what you're saying? Or if he touched it,
I wasn't really going to go
simultaneously,
there. Yeah, I was just saying they kind of both go for the ball.
It
Oh.
doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter
Doesn't matter.
because it's behind the neutral zone. So
Right.
we need to
point.
ignore all touching.
And it doesn't impact the batting, right? Like that doesn't have
Correct.
any impact on the batting.
No.
Correct. So we
Well,
ignore
what
touching
we-
by behind the neutral zone.
Okay, so that's nothing. But then this ball starts bouncing, and does anybody touch it there? Does anybody touch it there?
there you go.
We got all
There you
kind of
go.
other potential touchings that occurred
Yep.
until whoever that was touched it at the 45-yard line, where that one is clearly, if that's the first one, that was clearly an illegal touch. If nobody touched it prior to, I guess that was 31. who
But
touched
it's still this is still a batting foul. I mean, regardless of whoever touches it beyond the neutral zone down here, we're still got a flag.
correct.
Okay. So now we got to get to the result of the play based on who touched it next.
That's where I'm going. Yeah.
Got it. Okay, cool.
Because if we could have team B next to snap the ball, or we could have team A next to snap the ball, depending on what happened with the touching
Right.
downfield.
Right. Okay. So here we go. Let's say the ball bounced off the black jersey's foot. And then we've got number 31 here with the white jersey recovering the ball.
Correct.
So in one of these bounding situations with the football, it hits a player. That's the receiving team. The team in black
Right.
is the
The
receiving
Crocodiles.
team. The Crocodiles. Yeah. I mean, the Crocodiles. So the Crocodiles are the receiving team. It hits a Crocodile player in the foot. Now we have a flag for illegal batting,
Correct.
and we have the kicking team recovering a ball that was first touched beyond the neutral zone by the receiving team.
That's correct.
How do we enforce that illegal batting foul?
Well, the result of the play is 1st and 10 for the Rhinos at whatever yard line that is.
Correct.
But we have a hanging foul for
Against the right
illegal batting.
Correct.
Okay. So what's
The
so
basic
the
spot,
basic
kicking
spot?
plays,
Previous
previous.
spot.
Previous spot of the foul is what?
Behind the line of
Behind?
scrimmage.
It's
Behind.
behind the basic spot, and this is
We're
a
gonna
foul by the
enforce
team in
from the
possession
spot
of the ball. This
Correct.
is a foul by the team in possession. So we're going to penalize from the spot of the foul.
Correct.
I don't know how many yards it is anymore.
10.
It's 10.
10.
Wait a second. Lost it down. Uh-oh. Remember?
There you go.
I know
Remember?
kicking is a loss of down if it's.
Oh, this is behind the neutral zone.
Oh,
So quick poll here should this include a loss of down or not?
oh,
I don't think it's lost it down.
jeez and Pete's. I got a lot of reading to do.
Certainly would not be lost of down if it's beyond the neutral zone. We understand that.
Because of the whole
Because-
fourth down thing.
Because of the whole rule that says it's not.
So wait, what do you mean?
I don't know. I got to be careful here. I think yeah.
10 yards and a loss of
Settle
down
down.
for fouls by team A.
Unless
No loss of down if the foul occurs when a legal scrimmage kick is beyond the neutral zone.
Cool. So this is a legal scrimmage kick for sure. So I mean, if this foul occurred beyond the neutral zone, no loss of down, obviously. Based on what
Oh
you
my
just said.
gosh. Yeah, this is a
This
loss
is
of
a
down.
loss of down. So guess what down this probably was? Not probably.
Fourth
I
down,
see the
you would
dude holding
think.
the down marker. It's fourth down.
Don't always trust that, Brandon.
Okay.
Maybe too soon,
Good.
but yeah.
You read the script. Good job. This is a loss of down. So we're actually going to penalize 10 from the spot and turn the ball over on downs.
Ooh,
Crazy, huh?
that's a punitive penalty.
It is. I'm not sure. I guess probably because of this, it's like, look, really the kicking team's wrong here. And then this is a clearly unfair act. So the rules makers said, we can't let them do this.
Right.
And we're going to actually, we're going to really hit them with a loss of down and everything. It's really interesting. So if we call this, we got to be sure this is an illegal bat, which we are. But if we call this, it's got huge consequences.
Right.
All right. So
wait a minute, if the ball did not touch the crocodiles first,
correct.
it touched the rhinos first, number 31 on the rhinos right there.
Mhm.
If he's the first person to touch the first player to touch the ball while it was beyond the neutral zone, then we would have illegal touching, and we would have team B, the crocodiles, in legal possession of the ball at the 45-yard line.
Yeah, but it's same penalty. So that's what's interesting about it. So we just go through the process.
Whoa.
Fouls by A.
Yeah.
Fouls
There's
by
options, and we can't make the mistake.
There's options, but
Yeah, we can tack it on.
We can tack it on.
And we shouldn't make that mistake.
Okay, good point.
Yeah.
I mean, so we don't just want to go automatic tack on to the dead ball spot.
No, because we could easily make that mistake if we
Yeah.
aren't aware that, wait a minute,
Yeah.
we can actually penalize this from the spot of the foul and have lost it down.
Lost it down.
Right.
That's nuts.
That would be amazing to get right on the field with a million different things you're thinking about.
So we got a blocked kick. That touching's ignored. We've got some touching back here involving A36. It's ignored unless it's a foul for illegal batting, which this is.
Right.
Okay. We do want to understand the result of the play in terms of if the receiving team touched the ball first beyond.
We got it.
And here's what's interesting. This ball was touched a million times before all of this, but the only touching that matters is when it's touched beyond the neutral zone.
Correct.
In terms of who's in legal possession at the end of the down.
Correct.
So I hope that's clear. Is there, maybe we can answer some questions. I was thinking about what if that was the receiving team that did this, that batted the ball just like this? Would we do anything different?
Well, they will be batting it backwards, so
it's
that's
legal.
not a foul. Yeah,
Right.
it'd be legal.
Right. And if for some reason they batted it forward like this, would that turn into a PSK foul? If indeed they were in legal possession at the end of the play. In other words, they didn't touch the ball beyond the neutral zone. This is where
Well, no, because the foul would not have occurred beyond the neutral zone.
So the foul occurring beyond the neutral zone is one of the PSK criteria.
Maybe I got some reading to do. I thought that was one of the criteria.
It's just a good reminder, to check up on. I think you're right, and so what's interesting there is if somehow this was batted forward by the receiving team, which the play would look totally different than this. So everybody just, bear with us. The play would look totally different. But if this was a forward bat by the receiving team at this point, that's actually just a previous spot.
No, the foul does not have to occur beyond the neutral zone.
Just have a kick that crosses the neutral zone.
That's it.
That's interesting.
And the foul has to occur before the end of the kick. That's all.
Correct.
Oh my God.
So this potentially could be PSK.
It could be, yes.
That feels
a high school
unfair.
rule, I think.
That feels
I'm still
unfair.
stuck on that.
We got to think about that. Is this really a foul? Let's say this is a receiving team forward bat. And again, this play would look so much different. But it's just interesting to think about because it's a great rules play. So if the receiving team is batting the ball forward, are they really setting up the return with that action, or are they defending the punt, or is it, or do we just default to a literal interpretation of the?
Yeah, it's still a kick.
I know it's a kick.
So that's it.
Well, I mean, but okay. So if they go pull and shoot, hang on. If they go pull and shoot,
sure,
that's previous spot.
Yeah.
If they leap the shield, that's previous spot. Although that's probably in the penalty, right?
Mm-hmm.
because
You're
that's
saying it's unfair in what way, Brandon? You want to give Team A the ball back?
how can B bat a loose punt forward and then get the ball? That just doesn't make sense to me.
Well, because when Team A kicks the ball, they've essentially said, "I no longer have possession. I don't want this ball anymore. You can have it." So it's B's ball as soon as the ball.
So you're
hits that
saying
foot.
it's like post, like after this kick. So like post
It's deemed to be after the change of
scrimmage,
possession.
like post
Yeah.
scrimmage kick. You're saying.
You're being a smart Alec. But I'm just saying, if they bat it forward for some reason, which could conceivably happen, you block a kick like this, it goes up, and then you're trying to prevent the other team from recovering it.
Yeah, you bat
and,
it forward.
and advancing it. By the way,
Yeah.
you bat
Yeah.
it forward, and then somehow the ball ends up beyond, and
Yeah,
B's in legal possession. We're just going to give the ball to B.
yeah.
No,
Because when A decided to punt the ball,
they
they've said, "I'm
No.
no longer playing offense. You can have the ball. You can play offense." That's literally what the whole.
I mean,
point
you're
is.
going to end up coming back
I
to
don't
the
like
spot of that foul and enforcing 10 yards.
it's a B foul though.
Right. But they're going to
Yeah,
go
you can
back
go
to
into the spot of
10
the foul.
yards.
You go
No,
all
you
the way
go
back
into
to
the end of the kick.
end of the kick.
No, because if they're batting it forward, the end of the kick is going to be in advance of the spot of the foul.
Well, that's what. But so that's the thing. The end of the kick has to be beyond the neutral zone.
Correct.
My point is this: in the play that would never even possibly happen, if B bats the ball forward behind the neutral zone at this point, where this A player bats it, let's say that's a B player and he somehow bats
Wait,
it.
behind the neutral zone?
Yes,
Daniel, Brandon wants you to go to like Never Land right now.
No, I
Just-
do, because
yeah.
thinking about, but it's conceptually good because
But there's no
It's
PSK
not.
if the
Not
kick
conceptual.
doesn't cross the neutral zone.
I know. But let's say now the ball rebounds
This
back.
dude's an idiot.
Oh my god.
the ball rebounds back. Well, I
The
don't know. Have you ever
only
seen a
way-
blocked kick get batted forward behind the neutral zone by the kicking team? Me either until tonight. So
Brandon, the only way you get
Stop.
through all of that insanity is by closely following the strict guidance of the rule book.
but that's just unfair. But it's an outlier play,
Oh
so
my
that's why it
God.
doesn't matter.
So you would just invent a new rule like you did last time. Do whatever you want.
A would keep the ball under my game because that's not fair. That's not fair. If B
Can we
bats the
talk
ball
about this dude
forward-
with the long arms? The dude with the
Well-
arms are so-
If they recover the ball, they can have the ball.
Right, right.
So why do you want to give them the ball if B recovers it? I don't
It doesn't even
understand
make
that.
sense. It doesn't make any sense what Brandon is saying.
Because-
And you should
because
stop
that
engaging
bat-
him, Daniel.
No,
We can
no,
go to the
no,
next
here's why,
play.
here's
Stop
why.
engaging him.
The bat that I'm fictionally making up,
Right.
perhaps prevented A from recovering, and they could have advanced that ball behind the neutral zone if they recovered
Yeah,
behind the
but
neutral
you-
zone. So that's a foul against defending the kick, not setting up any kind of return, which is the spirit of the PSK rule.
I would argue that the spirit of the PSK rule.
You're gonna come back to me.
That was a dead-on impression, man. Nicely done. I would argue the spirit of the PSK rule, though, is what Tuta said, and that A has forfeited possession. They've said we lost. We had 3 times
Why
chances.
is pull and shoot? Why do we go previous spot for pull and shoot?
I don't know, because that helps you block it. All right.
Hey, it's
This is a crazy play. This was kind of
it's
cool.
good. We really appreciate.
I think we redeemed the session tonight with this play.
this play was the only thing that redeemed this session.
No, that's not true. The DPI face mask was an awesome play. All of the plays have been great. Are you kidding me? The Australia play, the line judge catches the pass in flight, then wings
Good
a
hands.
illegal forward pass. That is,
Good hands.
you don't get that. You can't get that anywhere else.
And this was a wacky session. I mean, this was titled or whatever, themed as a wacky session. The dude tried to kick the ball from out of bounds, in play 2. So that was really weird. And we got your wacky opinions on how to work kickoffs just to start the session, which I thought was great.
Yeah. And number 7's arms. Have we mentioned how long they are yet? My goodness. I like the rhinos with a Y too. I don't know. Digging it.
I think number 7 plays basketball. That's what I'm gonna go out on a limb and say he's a basketball player.
He's probably a goalie.
That dude is He got to be 7 feet tall.
This is good stuff.
This is a really
Well,
cool play. I mean, you can go. I would encourage you guys to bring this back to your crews because you can go a lot of different directions with this.
Yeah, I mean, and it's for this specific play, it's just a fundamental understanding of the rules, right? Because it's either going to be you've got A's ball if B touched it, but only beyond, or you've just got A's, or you've got B's ball, whether if they never touched it beyond, and we know we got to ignore all that touching up front unless that touching is also a foul, like this bat is. So then we just go right into basic penalty enforcement. This ball's loose. Status of the ball's a kick. Basic spot, previous spot. Where's the spot of the foul? It's behind. Is that the team in possession that committed the foul? Yes. Then in this case, it's a spot foul. And now we got to know that illegal batting carries a loss of down. Since the scrimmage kick is behind the neutral zone at this point, that's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. I don't know how many times you've ever seen that clause in the rule book put to use.
Exercised.
Yeah. Good stuff.
And I do want to agree that rhinos needs to forever now be spelled with a Y. That is just so cool.
That's strong.
That is strong. All the zoos listening in tonight to change the spelling for us. That's it. Tuta, how many games you got left?
Minimum of 2.
Oh,
probably maximum of 2 as well, considering my recent performance.
You're implying a little extra. Down the road there.
No, I have 2 games left. I get to if I make it through this weekend, kickoff is supposed to be 18 degrees. This weekend. Oh yeah.
Where are you going?
So that would be Colorado Springs. I would be at the Air Force Academy.
About 30-mile-per-hour winds, bro.
Yeah, so it's somebody. I mean, I'm not living right. Apparently, I don't know.
That's for sure.
If anybody has control, just keep the wind down for our guy in 18-degree weather, please.
Oh man.
Yeah.
It's gonna be brutal.
Well, have fun. Enjoy your trip.
Those are the things.
So if I survive
those are the things memories are made of, man.
I don't want those kind of memories. I'm gonna be honest. I'm just gonna be honest. I don't want those kind of memories.
All right. Well, you guys have great games. Mr. Lexner hopefully got home. He was traveling and his flight had delays, which we all understand how that can go.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So you understand probably better than we do.
Why is that?
Because you fly American.
Our flights have been on point, thankfully. And we appreciate you all. So let's just close this season out. We know that a lot of people are coming to a close. There's some postseason action going. We don't define anything by the presence or lack of postseason assignments. However, we all understand that those are nice to have.
That's right.
All right.
Right.
Hey, Brandon, hold on. Time out. Because that sometimes is something that, I know sometimes we tie our identity as football officials to the reward, if you want. I'm gonna put reward in air quotes too, that we get at the end of the season. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we tend to throw away our entire season for one meaningless game that we don't get assigned to at the end of the season, which that if we really sit back and think about it, man, why would you want to throw away the 10 games or 11 games or 12 games, however many that you actually got to share with your crew if you work crews, share with each individual officials if you work, in multiple different setups.
But just all the scrimmages and the pregame meetings and all, everything involved. You don't want to reduce it down to
the jokes that you share.
You don't want to reduce it down to one
simple game where you say, "Oh, I didn't get a playoff assignment. Now I'm mad." Like what? All right, sorry.
Yeah, that's a great point.
All right. Work hard. Have fun, everybody. Stay safe. And thanks for the plays. Let's keep getting some more plays in.
That was awesome.
These plays are awesome. There's a lot of other plays that we're going to be looking at as we go along the way too. So, all right. Good night, everybody.
All right, guys.